Hi, it's Stephen here from Sound of an Ocean Wave, and this is the review of the month ahead spread for March, as well as the daily draws for March. So, the month ahead spread, we had the Nine of Wands, we had the Three of Wands, we had the King of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, and the Hanged Man. And so there's three cards here from the Wands suit. So Wands was very much to be, in the month ahead spread here. And indeed, Wands was just actually the predominant suit of the month with the daily draws. There was 8 Wands cards, or 8. Her Wands card came out 8 times, put it that way. And closely followed by a Swords card came out 7 times. Which was about right, because it was to do with the passion, the creativity, as well as the planning, the thinking, etc. with the swords. Pentacles was next. 3 times came out, and Cups card came out only once in the entire month of March in the daily draws. And if I am not mistaken, the actual Cups card that came out was the Nine of Cups. That's right, which is about the wish card, what we're wishing for, what's going to bring us that happiness. So it's the Cups card was connected to what we're wanting to create in our lives that will bring us that happiness and satisfaction in our lives. So the fact that was the Cups card that came out was quite fitting. The majority, though, were major cards. A major card came out 12 times. Okay, so these overarching spiritual principles here that were at work during the month of March. So big ideas, big concepts that we were trying to grasp hold of and learn how to apply them to our lives in order to be able to create the life that we wanted. So, and the one that came out predominantly, came out 3 times, was the Empress card, which is about creativity, life returning to the earth. It's about abundance, it's about plenty, it's about fulfillment, it's about that creative, life-giving energy, and growth. So to me, nurturing that, and so to me that was very much in line with that general theme for the month. So let's have a quick look at the month ahead spread. Let's have a recap at the month ahead spread and how that I feel that related to the month as a whole. So we had the Nine of Wands, which was what we leave behind. The first card is what we leave behind, and that's the Nine of Wands. So to me, what this was saying, we leave behind a hesitancy to move forward. That we've been so scarred by past events that we feel a bit weary of moving forward, and we're a little bit hesitant. But what this card is saying is it's time to leave that behind. And that fits with a few of the draws, which I'll come to in a moment. So then we had what we take forward, which was the Three of Wands, which was the sense of growth, the possibilities of growth, the expectancy, the anticipation of expansion and growth within our lives. That's what we're to take forward. That's that belief in that growth is possible, and even to expect and anticipate it to become a reality. Then we had the external focus, which was the King of Pentacles. So that's talking about providing our lives with the practical things that we need, the resources, and creating the life we want. And that's what our focus is on. That creation, that creating for our needs and to help bring about the life that we want. The inner focus was the Five of Wands, which was to do with the internal conflicts within us, maybe relating a little to this hesitancy because of the past experiences. We may be a bit conflicted about whether we want to go forward or not because of experiences that we had. Maybe we can't make up our minds. Maybe we can't decide where our creative energy should go. Maybe we've been pulled in different directions, and we've got that internal conflict that maybe we need to resolve before we proceed. And then the Hanged Man, which to me is about pausing, perhaps to change, and also I think getting a new perspective on things, so that we can move away from the hesitancy and more to the confident embracing of the growth that we need. So, to me, that was a very good sort of general message for the month, which I think was largely borne out in the daily draws. Having said that, the only card from this spread that came out in the daily draws was actually the inner focus card, the Five of Wands, and that came out twice during the month. So this aspect, I think, of the month ahead spread was the one that was highlighted, dealing with any inner conflicts, resolving them in order to be able to move forward, perhaps dealing with that aspect of hesitancy because of past experiences. And I think that was borne about by, although none of the other cards came out, I think the general theme was borne out because the readings tended to be looking back about creative energy and getting a clear perspective and a focus on where we want to be and what we want and what we want that creative energy to produce, but dealing with any inner conflicts within, perhaps changing our perspective on those where necessary. So the general energy was like the Hanged Man, doing what it takes to get into a position where we can embrace the growth and expect the growth to be, and have a bit more confidence in ourselves, in our ability to create the life that we need. Maybe we haven't had that perspective before, and that's why it was all about dealing with these issues in order to move forward, getting the clear planning. That's why there were so many sword cards, getting the thinking right, but also getting our self-belief right by dealing with the inner conflicts, the things within. The two oracle cards that came out, one of them was the Grasshopper card, which was about listening to our desires, getting in tune with ourselves, and listening to our inner selves, that inner voice that may only be like whispers. So we needed to get to a position where we could hear them clearly. Hanged Man relates to that in the sense that we need to perhaps to switch our perspective and to literally get ourselves in position where we can hear that inner voice that may be whispering to us. The whispers of your desires are guiding you to trust the unfolding of your story, getting that trust, having that belief as we move forward. Again, another sort of message here. And the other card that really stuck out during last month was the composting card. And that's bringing all the elements together that we need, getting everything together, working, but providing a fertile, soil in which to grow what we want to grow in our lives. And a lot of the composting is even bringing things that we no longer have or need, but put the remnants of it into the compost. So things from our past, the lessons we've learned from it, even those things that give us a sense of hesitancy, we can use them, put them into the compost, and turn them into a source of nutrient for the compost in which we use to help the growth of what we're creating. It is through the remembrance of the past that you can make a more purposeful future, in the sense that we can learn lessons from the past, and that all can be thrown in. So rather than be hesitant because of our past and perhaps things we think of negatively, maybe we need to change our perspective, again going back to the Hanged Man, of those things in order and to put those things into the mix in a way that it maybe help to resolve the inner conflict, to reduce the inner conflict, so that we can go single-mindedly and with confidence forward to creating the things that we want. So I think that was basically the message that March brought to us, that last month brought to us, the sense of that we can create, we should be able to grow. This is an opportunity to deal with any issues within us that maybe hold us back, and to gain a new perspective on that, and to learn lessons and include those lessons in how we go about this present moment of creating, and all that to produce an environment and elements within ourselves that are conducive to the growth that we seek. So I think that is a very good review of what the messages were all about last month, and it did tie into the month ahead spread with the messages, even if only one of the cards came out, the internal conflict card to me, which I think was a key part of it, because all the other aspects relied on us perhaps resolving an inner conflict, because while we've got that inner conflict, we're divided in ourselves, and while we have that inner division, it's difficult to move forward into a period of growth. So those were the lessons we learned. I hope. I don't know what you got from last month through the draws, and indeed from the month ahead spread, how you view how things went. But that's the messages that I got. That's what I feel that the emphasis was upon. So that's it for March. And the next step is to do the month ahead spread for April. And then we'll continue with the draws, and we'll again see how these things work together and what the main themes and messages are for the coming month. Okay, so that's it for now. Thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.